The Chicago Bears signed D'Onta Foreman for $3 million instead of re-signing David Montgomery. The question on the table today, was this the right decision by the Chicago Bears? Let's talk about that and more on today's episode of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Daily. Hey, let's go. Now, if you are new to the channel, please like the video. Please subscribe to the page, man. We do talk Chicago sports daily on this channel. It's the only channel talking Chicago sports and how Chicago talk. So make sure that you get in tune with us, man. So Bears decide to go with D'Onta Foreman over re-signing David Montgomery after letting David Montgomery go to the Detroit Lions. And the question on the table is, right, like, is this the right decision? Here's the thing. We all know that Monty is a fan favorite. We know that Chicago Bears fans love David Montgomery. I love David Montgomery. I think that he is one of the best running backs when it comes to picking up the blitz. I think that he's an excellent pass blocker. He's a hard runner. He runs like Chicago. But I stand on what I said. You do not pay running backs big money. And on top of that, right, like, I know there's going to be a lot of people that look at this video and they're going to come out and say, yeah, but you know, David Montgomery was giving us this production. He was making these things happen. He was doing all of this stuff for you, right? Well, I would sit there and ask you guys, right, like, do you feel like this is another situation where you got two for the price of one? Not only do you bring in Travis Homer, you also bring in D'Onta Foreman, 2 for 1, that do two things that we praise David Montgomery for doing and do them better in a sense, right? Travis Homer, when it comes to pass blocking and things like that, is one of the best backs in the NFL. It's what he's really been used for most of his career on the offensive side, outside of being a special teams guy. I think that he's going to be able to come in, and if you have that two-back system that we saw them run every now and then back there, he's going to be a guy that's going to really be able to pick up the pass block. And you bring in D'Onta Foreman, a guy who last season finally got his opportunity in what I believe the last 10 games of the season, basically, to start after Christian McCaffrey was traded. And he was able over that time to put up 203 yards, he got 203 rush attempts over the season, 914 yards, 4.5 attempts per carry. Listen, I understand that we all love David Montgomery, but paying running backs is not the way to go. And also the torch for the fight on David Montgomery on this one isn't even comparable, right? 16 games last season, 201 rushes, 800 yards from Monty. Monty ran hard for the Bears. But we can't sit here and just act like David Montgomery is replaceable. This is absolutely the right call for Ryan Poles to make, and I'm glad that he had the cojones to make it, because getting rid of a leader in your locker room, getting rid of a fan favorite, these aren't easy decisions to make for a GM, right? But when I look at all the numbers encompassing what David Montgomery has been over his Bears career, it doesn't feel to me like he's an irreplaceable back. You also have to realize that you're throwing this here into a kind of a two-back system, right? Like, Khalil Herbert's probably going to be your main workhorse in this offense. He's not a guy that's great at picking up the pass block. We all know that, right? But he makes minimal money. You have signed D'Onta Foreman. I got to say his name right, bro. I swear. I'm just figuring out how to say his name. You've signed D'Onta Foreman for $3 million. You've got a backfield that literally makes what David Montgomery makes alone. And you've got three running backs for it, three running backs that can give you solid production at what they do best. Here's the thing that I love that we're seeing from Ryan Poles. He's not just going out here and saying, I'm going to go get the best name that I can. I'm going to go get the big name on the market. He's saying, I'm going to go get the guy that fits what we're trying to do. I'm going to go get a scheme fit. I'm going to go get what makes us the best that we can be right now, while still giving us the opportunity to get better in the future. You don't do that by paying running backs to the point. And I do want to know how you guys feel, man. Let me know in the comments below. Do you feel like the Bears made the right decision going with D'Onta Foreman, Travis Homer, and Khalil Herbert over just paying David Montgomery the $6 million? Now, Herbert was already on the roster, right? He was already getting his money. So he's a little bit of a different situation, but the two backs that you brought in still making less than David Montgomery. Also, this is only a one-year deal, right? You get to reassess, you get to retry. And the reason I like this, again, another deal that sets you, excuse me, that sets you up for the future. You get D'Onta Foreman in here for 1 year. He performs for you for 1 year. Hopefully he's a good back, right? Able to do a lot of good things for you. But your goal is to draft the other guy that's going to come up in the system to where you're not paying him $3 million a year. I know that people are trying to sit here and just say, you know, you have to show loyalty. You have to pay the guys that you bring into the organization. That's not how football works. I don't know when we thought that football became this loyal league, but that's not how this league it works in the long run. And you know what? At the end of the day, this is the right decision because now you still have money to go out there and throw at other positions. Could you have re-signed David Montgomery for the $6 million a year, right? 18 over 3 and still been set? Absolutely. But over the next 3 years, I don't have to allocate that money to a running back. I don't have to allocate that money to, and also, right, like Monty's more of a guy if you want to go in a run heavy system, which the Bears did run last season. But going into this year with the moves that they've made, does it seem like the Bears are trying to go back and go into a run heavy system again? It seems to me like they're trying to give Justin Fields options to pass the ball to. So I think that I love the way Ryan Poles has moved in this decision to the point that it finally puts the Bears in the, what's the right way to say it? It finally puts the Bears, to me, in the modern era of football. What have we loved our entire time? Running backs, defense. You got to keep this guy. Can't get rid of Jordan Howard. Can't get rid of Matt Forte. Can't get rid of Tarico. Can't, right? Like all these running backs that we can't get rid of. Got to go get a linebacker. Got to go get, and we did do that, right? Like we did go get our linebackers, but we also got receiving weapons. We got weapons out there now, right? But to the point that I had to go out there and look to see who were the running backs that we're winning out here, right? Like we've got these high paid guys, right? Derrick Henry, high paid guy, Ezekiel Elliott, high paid guy, right? In the NFL. And I really was trying to figure out, right? Like what's the logic on some of these guys? What's the logic on paying these running backs high? Is it translating to winning? Or paying these running backs, right? Like even the mid-level guys that are making 12, 8, stuff like that. Are these the guys that are winning? And I was able to find this stat. I don't know who put this together, but shout out to them. And it starts in 2001. I'd have to add on the 2022 and 2023 winners myself. But here's the stat that really stands out to me, and I want y'all to hear this. From 2001 to 2009, these are your leading rushers in the Super Bowl. The Rams had Cam Akers. He was making $1.17 million. The Buccaneers had Leonard Fournette. He made $2 million. The Chiefs had Damian Williams. He made $1 million. The Patriots had Sony Michel. He made $480,000. The Eagles had LeGarrette Blount. He made $900,000. The Patriots had LeGarrette Blount. He made $760,000. The Broncos had C.J. Anderson, $585,000. I want to make sure I'm saying these numbers right. The Patriots had LeGarrette Blount, $730,000. The Seahawks had Percy Harvin, $2.5 million. The Ravens had Ray Rice, $2 million. The Giants had Ahmad Bradshaw, $1.5 million. The Packers had James Starks, $320,000. The Saints had Pierre Thomas, $460,000. You do not pay running backs if you want to win. That money goes elsewhere. That is a position that you can find. I love what Monty brought to the Chicago Bears, but we need to stop this thought process. We need to stop this asinine thought process of we have to keep the guys in the building that we have drafted, and we can't find a guy that's going to be able to do that again. And how are we? Monty broke 1,000 yards one time. One time. In 2 17-game seasons. I love what he can be. I'm glad that the Detroit Lions gave him the contract. But the way to win is not to pay the running back position. It literally statistically says your Super Bowl winners don't pay the running back position. They put that money elsewhere. Now, does Ryan Poles need to throw that money somewhere else? Yeah, I think there's some more moves that probably need to be made this offseason. I do like the signing of Robert Tonyan. I do like the way that, they've kind of built up, and probably preparing, hey, we're going to have some rookies in here. We're going to need some guys that can go out there and block along with the offensive linemen that we currently have. I think that you need to get a little bit better on the offensive line still. There's still money that needs to be thrown around, but it should not be thrown at the running back position. Kudos to Ryan Poles. My hat is off to you. You made the right decision not paying David Montgomery $6 million per, right? I understand. I know the contract is set up to where it's not that, but at some point, David Montgomery is going to make a lot of money. Shout out to him. Glad he can feed his family. Hope he has a great time in Detroit. Hope he wins a moderate amount of games, right? I don't want him to lose all of them, but a moderate amount. Excuse me. But in this situation, this is one of the smartest decisions I've seen Ryan Poles make. Because how many times did we see Ryan Pace go heart over logic? Gotta pay this guy because he had one good season for me. Gotta pay this guy because he made this happen. Gotta pay this guy because I drafted, I believe in him. Gotta make no, it's not how you win. It's not how you win in the long term. There is no formula that speaks to this. It's not that NFL anymore. At one point, it was that NFL. It was running backs and defense. That's all you had to do. We are in a passing league. In a passing league, you know what your job is? Be good enough so that this play action can be a decoy. It's not a disrespect to running backs, but you know what? There's a ton of y'all coming out, and for you to set yourself apart, you have to be one of the best of the best of the best. Guess what? Saquon Barkley, to me, has done that a little bit. He's starting to make a name as a guy, and maybe I'm gonna have to add one more to my list. Adrian Peterson did that. Derrick Henry did that. Irreplaceable names. Sweetness did that. Barry Sanders did that. Outside of that, there's not that many irreplaceable running backs in NFL history. There's just not. Irreplaceable? I can't find another guy that can do this. We got to stop that. And here's the thing. It's not to give credit to anything ever that Colin Cowherd says. But the one thing I will say about Bears fans, I think the organization has started to update its mindset. But Bears fans, we have to get out of this thought process of 2005. Just because it's the last time that we won anything or got to a point where we could have won a Super Bowl, it doesn't mean that that's the formula for success in the modern NFL. We love to hold on, as a Chicago as a whole, we love to hold on to the things that we did when we were winning. NBA, gotta get a guard, gotta get a dynamic guard, gotta have that wing that's Scottie Pippen. No, we don't. We need a big. We need big people. We need tall guys. NFL, gotta have that running back position. You know how many Bijan Robinson tweets I've been getting about taking him at 9? He's a game-changing back. Y'all said this about not Saquon Barkley. Y'all said this about Ezekiel Elliott. He was the only thing that you could take. He was the only player that logically made sense to take. He was the best running back in the NFL. He just got cut. He's been in the league, 6 years? He just got cut. We have to update our thinking. We have to update our narratives, and we have to update what our mindset is on winning football. It is a passing league. You do everything in your power to give Justin Fields the most opportunity to go out there and pass the football. You have to. And I think that Ryan Poles is trying to position this team to do that. Goes out, gets a guard, right? Probably going to have to go through the draft. I really think they like Braxton Jones. I don't know if I saw that. I'm really hoping that pans out. I really think they like Braxton Jones. I'm not going to lie to you. But he's going with scheme fit guys. He's going with guys that make sense for the offense that they're going to run. He's going with guys that, right, like young guys that make little money. That's how winning organizations do it. You have your stars, but then outside of that, you have a bunch of dudes that make $2 to $5 million on your team. So I feel like I like the way that Ryan Poles is going about this, man. I love the way that he's adjusting this. I absolutely would have made this same decision going with the running back room that I have over just re-signing Monty. I do want to know how you guys feel, man. Let me know in the comments below. I'll be down there talking with you as well. As always, man, it's your boy, Pat the Designer, back at it again to continue watching our Chicago Bears content. Click the links on the screen or check the links in the description below. Hey, yo, y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Peace.